and the next match is starting.
Yeah, I mean, we did say something about momentum there, and I feel like that's really starting to play a factor here as well, now being 3-2 in favor of Miraculous Gaming after being down 2-0 against a powerhouse team like Gravity. I mean, their players on both sides are certainly nothing to be discounted. But, coming back, winning 3 games in a row against a team that has been a favorite all season to make it to the live final show and potentially on the brink of being knocked out here.
Yeah, and that would be a real pickup for Miraculous Gaming. Obviously, everybody who's left in the tournament wants to make it to that final, wants to get a payday, but they really got to claw their way through the cream of the crop at this point to get there.
Final show for the StarCraft 2 Community Team League coming up on June 28th. This is the third of 4 round of 8 matches that we will be covering. The 4th match will be coming at you on Thursday. Time yet not quite announced, so follow at SC2CTL, at WingNetSC, and at Gallegation to see when that time will be coming, or just simply click the follow button on the Twitch channel. That is the best way to see when we go live as we jump on into game number 6. With a score of 3-2 in favor of Miraculous Gaming. In the lower right-hand corner, wearing pink, like a manly man, representing Miraculous Gaming, it is SolQuest.
And in the top left-hand corner, a lot of pressure on him now, representing Team Gravity and Protoss, it is Serendipity. And as you were saying, I mean, we're having a conversation about momentum a little bit before this game started. As you were saying, for Miraculous Gaming, kind of coming out winning 3 in a row there, obviously they've got momentum, but if Serendipity is able to come through and win this game, that is such a momentum killer. And I feel like the pendulum almost shifts in an equal amount in the opposite direction as far as momentum goes when that type of upset happens. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, if Gravity comes back to win this, I certainly would favor them in a game number 7, especially since both teams can pick a player that has already played once to come back out for that ace match. And Miraculous Gaming, again, it's a real hard situation to be at the point of, on the brink of winning, at the point of moving on to the live semifinal show where you could win all of that money and then having to play again. So yes, I absolutely agree with you.
So, yeah, I mean, Serendipity's just got a lot of uphill climbing to do here, but I mean, both these players are fresh, though. It's not like last year where it was King of the Hill format. This is Pro League format. They aren't coming off of like exhaustion of playing 3 or 4 games in a row. They're just ready to go, and so hopefully, for Gravity's sake, Serendipity is able to kind of pull this back out, but he's gonna have to topple SolQuest in order to do it.
Yep. Now it is fairly similar here. The cybernetics core of Serendipity is ever so slightly ahead of that of SolQuest, but not a huge amount. Looks like it is going to be Warpgate out of Serendipity and Twilight Council out of SolQuest. So again, DTs versus Blink. I'm going to go ahead and go for DTs this game. That was a pretty, I mean, honestly, Miraculous Gaming on the brink. Why not? Why not go balls to the wall, Gallegation?
Yeah, I mean, you have some wiggle room. If at that point, if you wanted to try a risky build that doesn't quite pay off, we'll see if that's exactly what SolQuest decides to do here.
Also, at one point in Wings of be either Blink or DTs, and the preparation for both is, I mean, honestly, it's a robo, so it's fairly similar. But getting out what you can is going to be tough here. But there is a third gateway coming down. Warpgate is half done. Is Serendipity? No, he couldn't. He has too many probes and gas. But that is okay. So 3-gate robo coming down, so a pretty good play from Serendipity here. Taking a wild guess that there are going to be some DTs, but he's moving across the map. Looks like he wants to get aggressive right away, which is also a good thing to do. Force SolQuest, if he is making those DTs, to be defensive with them rather than offensive. And no pylon across the map.
Yeah, Serendipity was able to pick off that probe that was heading across the map to put up the pylon. And that is going to definitely put a hamper down on SolQuest's plans. 3 Stalkers moving in against 2 Stalkers and a Mothership Core, and the 2 Stalkers left for Serendipity are doing some major damage here, doing some good micro, trying to get that one out of there, does manage to save it, and so now it's just the Mothership Core versus 2 Stalkers, and SolQuest is absolutely going to have to use these DTs defensively if he wants to stay in this.
He does have enough for a photon overcharge here, but he's really being conservative with it and saving it, which is actually pretty smart. The probe does kind of make its way around, sees warp gates opening up, sees the robo, so he knows that if he's going to make a push on this, he's going to have to do it quick. DT does show itself and is being used defensively here, so it's really going to push away the attack of Serendipity. Honestly, this throws a giant wrench in his gears, so now he's got to go back and make a observer out of his robo, and these Stalkers can't be all that effective because now photon overcharge goes down. Incredibly long vision there from SolQuest in saving that. He could have easily been baited into popping it early.
Yeah, he definitely a lot of patience there. So Serendipity trying to use these Stalkers to do what damage they can, even warping in more now. So it looks like he's going to try and get that observer rallied up with them. It is halfway across the map, trucking its way along. These Stalkers are running from the veiled threat of SolQuest, but that's now pulled away and is going to try and head into the mineral line. The observer is flying right over it, but isn't going to be able to see it.
Yeah, he does have a couple sentries now, so he will be able to force field off at least this ramp and sacrifice the natural expansion that is going down here, which I'm sure he will. Man, the force fields today have been a little bit off, but it's not big enough for a giant Stalker to squeeze by. He's going to have to end up canceling this Nexus here out front, but he is almost to the point of, hey, he does now have another photon overcharge at the ready. An Immortal is out, so the push of these Stalkers is going to be coming to an end here. If you oh, but nice force field by Serendipity, trapping 2 Stalkers outside, but he is able to maneuver them around, and the Nexus does finish and photon overcharges at the natural expansion.
In the meantime, SolQuest did try and get a DT into the mineral line of Serendipity. There is an observer just hanging out there, and the Mothership Core was able to take care of it rather handily, so that has been shut down.
Man, the Mothership Core of SolQuest here has been just expertly controlled. If there's ever, if there's any control that is contributing to SolQuest being able to edge out a victory here, it will definitely come down to this Mothership Core. It has been kept alive through thick and thin, now even working its way back once again to stay alive, and just great overall control here, keeping this Stalker alive with only a few HP left.
So SolQuest is going to be holding this natural for now, as it looks like Serendipity has been forced back, and Serendipity is going to try and expand behind this as well, so moving more into, trying to move into a macro phase of the game, but SolQuest may not allow that, as he does have a decent-sized army. He may just push the issue here.
Yeah, he's got a 10 supply lead in the army column right now, does SolQuest, as he moves across the map, and he also has those 2 Immortals, and honestly, at this stage of the game, with the composition of Serendipity is pretty good, but I mean, there is a Warp Prism coming out. There are 2 Immortals waiting here to be loaded up into it, so he's going to be heading those across the map to maybe do a little bit of poking damage, but honestly, he needs to keep them back home because the push of SolQuest is a real thing and it is coming.
Yeah, and I think he realized that and dropped it just as he was about to move out with it, so he is going to have to force this, or he is going to force this Nexus to cancel another Bosch force field there. But some other ones going down. Man, we had 2 in a row. But there are some just units all over the place for Serendipity, not able to get a whole lot done. So this SolQuest army able to force that cancel now. I think he's pretty satisfied with the damage that he's been able to do running out of there. And Serendipity taking the opportunity to load those Immortals back into the Warp Prism. Going to try and beat those units home.
Yeah, and he's going to be heading across with him, and honestly, a good play, but he's going to be flying right across the top of the units of SolQuest, and makes a little juke there to maybe try and avoid it, but the Stalkers are actually in firing range. Missiles could be locked, but they are going to be heading across. The Mothership Core does have a photon overcharge available. Immortal is going to be dropping right on the natural expansion, shooting at the Zealot, not the best thing to be shooting at.
And he loads right on up and is getting out of there. SolQuest getting there just in time. But didn't lose his Immortal, didn't lose too many shields there. So overall, not the worst case scenario. Now moving, looked like he was going to be moving into the main actually, but decides to pull back after all.
Once again, I made the mistake of looking at chat and just wanted to communicate that there is a spoiler alert that Protoss is going to win this game.
Oh my, look out.
But the Immortal is going to be dropped here in the main base, but SolQuest is ready. Looks like he's been quite on the ball this game. He does have a pylon over in the third base location of Serendipity, and these Immortals doing a lot of damage to these Zealots, but it's really not what they want to be doing. They want to be taking out some tech or a building or using those big cannons, but the Photon Overcharge and the army of SolQuest is going to chase that away. The Nexus of Serendipity was quite delayed there by the push of SolQuest, and now is about to finish. But I mean, again, looking at the army, not quite as in favor of SolQuest as it was, but still 47 to 34 now as I look back at it.
And it's important to know here, too, that SolQuest does have a War Prism of his own with a DT and two DTs loaded up into it. Did take a pause as that Immortal drop was kind of pressing down on him, but that is waiting just outside. It looks like it's springing back into action now.
Here it comes. No detection. Oh, there is an observer in the main base. All right, so that's fine. And there is a Photon Overcharge available on that mothership core, so he should be just fine with this over thing. His thing right over the stalkers. He's flying his thing right over them.
And Serendipity losing his observer there in SolQuest's base there, and barely able to get that War Prism out. It looks like he was taking some heavy damage on them. That would be a prime pickup there for SolQuest if he was able to pull it out, but was not able to snipe it, and so those Immortals remain alive and are making their way back in once again.
Yeah, SolQuest though, I mean, he's grabbed a lead early and has just been continually extending it here. He has a really good army composition, lots of Immortals, Sentries, and Stalkers against what Serendipity has, which is pretty much the same thing, just lower numbers. Serendipity is going for Colossus, but it's going to come back to bite him here, I think, as it's a lot of tech investment, whereas SolQuest has been putting that money into army, and he's going to shove it right down the throat of Serendipity here, moving up into his natural expansion.
Yeah, I think this is the right call, too, as SolQuest does not need to be playing around with these Immortal drops when he can just run right in here. Serendipity did try and hallucinate some Colossus, but SolQuest is not fazed by that and is doing the damage, trying to move up the ramp there and blinking forward, doing damage to the actual real Colossus, now going back for the Nexus at the natural. And this is doing huge damage here.
And is Miraculous Gaming SolQuest on the verge of knocking Gravity out of the round of 8 of the SC2CTL playoffs and putting themselves into a position to face off against the top 4 teams of this season? Indeed he is, as Serendipity GG's. Galgation. Wow. That's all we have to say. So that is gonna wrap up these matches. It's gonna be a final score of 4-2, but that score does not tell the whole story.
Absolutely not. But congratulations to Miraculous Gaming, making your way to the semifinals. We look forward to seeing you on June 28th, starting at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, when we will be casting the first set of the 2 semifinal matches, immediately proceeding to the finals match, and so on and so forth after that.
Yep, but don't go away. We do have another code to give away for the said giveaways, Galgation.
That's right, but very quickly here, I do want to remind you of our sponsors, Mythologic. They have been putting up a lot of money and being really helpful this season, so go ahead and give them a follow on Twitter or tweet at them that you just appreciate them contributing to esports. If you're not sure who they are, check out mythologic.com. They also they are creators of awesome gaming rigs, either laptops or PCs. So check them out. Cool stuff. Also, Chairs for Gaming is a sponsor of ours as well. They are a Canadian DX Racer distributor, so check them out at chairsforgaming.com if you're looking for one of those. And of course, you are watching the StarCraft 2 Community Team League, and we have been your casters, Wingnut SC and Galgation. So the giveaway is on the chat there.
Yeah, Nicky Boy actually helping us out here with that. Appreciate that.
Yeah, they're definitely enjoying that Moobot. So giveaway is going on. If you follow and like those pages that are listed on the website at sc2ctl.com/giveaway, you will get an additional entry into the giveaway for each one that you like for every code that you enter, so those multiply very quickly. Make sure you take advantage of that. We did give away a code earlier. The second code for this evening is going to be esports, which is in contrast to our first code of the evening, which I'll let our producer decide whether or not he wants to give that out once again, but it was in reference to the World Cup going on, so contrasting World Cup versus esports. Both are available to watch at your viewing pleasure. We appreciate you spending some time with us this evening.
You know what? Let's go ahead and overrule the situation. These viewers have been awesome tonight. The chat's been
Absolutely.
great. Troy doesn't get a say. We're going to give away that first code again, and it is...
Sports Ball!
Hey... So if you enter both of those codes alone, you get 2 entries, and if you enter those codes plus those, you get 2 entries for each one of those as well.
Yeah, so lots of entries to have, and if you're wondering what's actually being given away, there is a mechanical gaming keyboard by Corsair, presented by Mythologic, that is up for grabs, that will be given away during the live finals on June 28th that we mentioned before.
Yep.
So make sure you get those entrants in.
We will be giving that away on stream as well, so be sure to tune in. And we'll also be giving away more codes, so there will be more chances to win, and there'll be a lot of games to cover, so my guess is there'll be more than 2 codes.
I would imagine so.
So that is going to wrap up our show for tonight, so big congratulations to Team Gravity for making it so far. It is unfortunate that we didn't get to cast their games more. They were just too good this season. But this one and only match is going to be their last as Miraculous Gaming moves into the semifinals, which will be casted live, as we've mentioned over and over again, on Saturday, June 28th, starting at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So be sure to be here for that. We will be back on Thursday, time not yet announced, with the 4th and final round of 8 match between what teams? I don't have my notes in front of me. My production notes. 2 other teams. There will be two other teams facing off on Thursday. The last 2 teams.
I love it when you talk yourself into a corner. It's my favorite thing.
And it will be great. It doesn't matter what teams they are. But one team will be moving on and one team will be out once again. So be sure to tune in for that. Again, with you tonight, I am Wingnut SC, and my cohort here that's carrying the handsome basket is Gallegation. Be sure to follow us on Twitter. We are at WingnutSC and at Gallegation. We appreciate those follows and tweets. Any feedback you want to give is appreciated, as this is the SC2 StarCraft 2 Community Team League. We like to hear the feedback from the community. So we thank you for joining us this evening. Gallegation, send us off.
All right, thanks once again for joining us, and we will see you next time on SC2CTL.